Ideological control isn't creeping in anymore. It's already there, gripping the throat of democracy like a rusted blade. The system didn't just blink, it bared its teeth. The Court of Appeal slammed the door shut on Lucy Connolly's last hope for justice, rejecting her appeal and declaring her 31-month prison sentence fair. Meanwhile, Bob Violin, who's far more comfortable to the establishment, walks free. This isn't just bias, it's a fully operational two-tier justice system, and it's rewriting the rules of free speech right in front of us. Over 100,000 people signed a petition for Lucy Connolly's release in less than 24 hours. That's not a protest anymore. That's a cultural earthquake. And now, silence is no longer an option. Lucy Connolly wasn't a household name. She was a young mother who posted on X in the emotional storm following the Southport attack, where 3 young women were savagely murdered by Axel Rudakabana. Her tweet? Offensive, perhaps. But did it justify 31 months behind bars? That's what shocked the country. The Court of Appeal didn't flinch. They ruled there was no reason to reduce her sentence. It was the kind of cold, mechanical judgment that makes you wonder what justice even means anymore. Then Starmer showed up. After hiding out for days, the Prime Minister emerged with the emotional range of a toaster. Freedom of speech does not exempt one from responsibility, he said. People are jailed not for opinions, but for incitement to hatred and violence. It sounded less like leadership and more like damage control, but the Real explosion came just a few days later. Rapper Pascal Robinson Foster got on a BBC broadcast and, in front of a live primetime audience, openly called for the mass killing of Israeli soldiers. This wasn't some vague metaphor.
It was direct,
Explicit.
public.
And it aired on the nation's taxpayer-funded broadcasting network. Many pointed out that the Israeli Defense Forces are mostly Jewish. It's a conscription army. So naturally, many British Jews and people around the world saw the comment for what it was: blatant anti-Semitism. A literal call to violence. But here's the twist. No arrest. No charges. Not even a slap on the wrist. Just a vague note from Avon and Somerset police saying they were aware of the comments made at the West Halt stage at Glastonbury and would review the footage for potential offenses. Translation: nothing's happening. And everyone knows it. That's when the mask slipped. Even those who didn't agree with Lucy's tweet started connecting the dots. Why is one person sitting in a prison cell for 31 months while another gets to incite violence on national TV and walk away like it's open mic night? Suddenly, the entire narrative collapsed. What started as outrage over a single arrest had morphed into a national referendum on fairness, on justice, on what free speech even means anymore. The words two-tier justice began spreading like wildfire across social media, echoing through Parliament's stone halls and into the streets of Britain. Starmer, trying to look firm, only ended up looking out of touch. His attempt to shut the door on the case reignited it. Enter Rurt Lowe, former Reform MP. He launched a petition calling for Lucy's release and a full review of criminal penalties for nonviolent social media posts. Within 3 hours, the petition passed 10,000 signatures, triggering an automatic government response. By hour 24, it had crossed 100,000, securing a formal parliamentary debate. For reference, most petitions don't hit that mark in 6 months. Rurt Lowe was stunned. You don't send people to prison for careless social media posts, he posted on X. Lucy Connolly and others like her should not be behind bars. The speed of support was unprecedented. Lucy's case wasn't just igniting social media, real political momentum was forming. 8 MPs, crossing party lines from Labour to the Conservatives, backed the petition's demand for a special debate. Labour's Mary Glendon. Conservatives like Sir Gavin Williamson and Andrew Rosendale. They all threw their names behind the motion. Even across the Atlantic, it caught fire. US Conservative Charlie Kirk went on GB News and said, live on air, "I'm going to pass this to Marco Rubio. I'll text him directly." He even claimed he'd informed Donald Trump. Yes, the story had jumped the ocean. Inside Labour, the cracks were deepening. Some MPs, once silent, started to stir. Behind closed doors, in the private lounges and quiet corridors of Westminster, concern grew. Some feared they were watching the party lose its grip on moral authority, and outside Parliament, the people weren't waiting for permission to be angry. In Birmingham, Richard Tice delivered a scorching speech, calling the Connolly case proof that freedom in Britain is dissolving before our eyes. His words weren't just greeted with applause. They were greeted with a roar. The crowd wasn't listening, they were demanding. This had become a moment. A line in the sand. Lucy Connolly's family has stood firmly by her side throughout this. They've remained relatively quiet until now. But even they understand what this has turned into. A referendum not just on Lucy's fate, but on the entire architecture of British justice. What used to be a debate over one tweet is now a moral standoff. A generational battle over who gets to speak, who gets punished, and who gets protected. The government tried to bury it. The courts tried to rubber stamp it. But the people dug it back up, and now, Parliament has no choice but to look this fire in the eye. More than just Lucy is on trial now. It's the justice system itself. The principle of equal treatment under the law. The value of free speech in a democracy that claims to cherish it. One careless tweet. One lopsided sentence. One deafening silence from the police when it came to actual incitement. And suddenly, millions of Britons are asking themselves a question they never thought they'd have to. Is my speech still free? Stay tuned. This fight is far from over.